This happened when I was in college. I lived off campus in a small apartment with my best friend Sarah. It wasn't in the best area, but it was cheap and we were broke students, so we made it work. One night, Sarah had gone to visit her parents for the weekend, so I was home alone. It was a Friday and I had been binge watching a show until way too late. Around 2 a.m., I finally decided to go to bed. I locked the front door, checked the windows, turned off the lights, and went into my room. Right as I was pulling the blankets over me, I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. Not at my door, at my bedroom window. I froze. My apartment was on the ground floor, but my bedroom window faced the alleyway. No one should have been back there. Slowly, I turned my head toward the window. The blinds were closed, but I could see the shape of someone standing there. Another knock, and then a man's voice, low, calm. "I know you're in there," my name. My blood ran cold. I didn't recognize the voice. I had never given my name to any neighbor, and I definitely hadn't told anyone to come over. I didn't move. I barely breathed. Then the doorknob rattled. Not the front door, my bedroom door. My apartment wasn't big. There was no way someone could have gotten inside without me hearing the front door open, but someone was on the other side of my bedroom door, trying to get in. I grabbed my phone and whispered to Siri to call 911. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold it. I told the dispatcher what was happening in a hushed voice, too scared to even get out of bed. She told me to stay put and that officers were on the way. And then, just as suddenly as it started, the sound stopped. No more knocking, no more rattling, just silence. It felt like an eternity before I heard the police outside. They searched the area, but they didn't find anyone. The alley was empty. My front door was still locked. No windows were broken. When I was 12, my family moved into a new house. It wasn't anything fancy, just an older, two-story home in a quiet neighborhood. But it had something I hated from the moment I saw it, a basement. It was unfinished, cold, and always smelled damp, no matter how many dehumidifiers my parents used. There was one bare light bulb in the center of the ceiling, and the corners were always swallowed in shadows. My mom used it for storage, but I avoided it as much as possible. For the first few months, everything was fine, but then the smell changed. Instead of just dampness, the basement started to stink like rotting meat. My mom thought a mouse had died somewhere in the walls, so my dad set traps, but they never caught anything. The smell got worse. It started to drift up the stairs. Eventually, my dad called someone to check the pipes, thinking maybe something had backed up. The plumber went down there for about 5 minutes before coming back up, looking pale. "Sir," he told my dad, "you might want to call the police." We all just stared at him. Then he said, "There's something wrapped in plastic behind your water heater." The police came, and what they found still makes me sick to think about. There was a black garbage bag, duct taped shut, stuffed behind the old water heater. Inside, bones. The cops wouldn't tell us much, only that they were human remains. They asked my parents a lot of questions, but we had just moved in. We had no idea who had lived there before us. The case is still open. They never told us who it was or how long they had been there. But sometimes I think back to the first few nights in that house. How I always felt like someone was watching me whenever I passed the basement door, and how some nights I swore I heard soft breathing coming from the darkness below. This happened when I was 16. To this day, it's the reason I can't sleep with my feet uncovered. It was a Friday night and my parents were out of town for the weekend, leaving me home alone. I didn't mind. I was used to being by myself, and I had plans to stay up late watching horror movies. Around midnight, I finally turned off the TV and went to bed. My room was small, just a bed, a dresser, and a little space underneath where I kept boxes of old clothes and books. I was exhausted, so I got under the covers, turned off the lamp, and closed my eyes. Maybe 5 minutes later, I felt it, a tug at my blanket, like someone gently pulling it from the end of the bed. I froze. My heart started pounding. I told myself I imagined it. Maybe I had shifted in my sleep and moved the blanket myself. But then it happened again. A slow, steady pull, like someone was underneath my bed. I stayed completely still, listening, and then I heard it, breathing, shallow, slow breathing, coming from directly underneath me. I wanted to run, to scream, to do anything, but I was so scared I couldn't move. I just lay there, listening to the sound of someone hiding inches below me. Then my phone, which was on my nightstand, buzzed, a text from my mom. "Did you lock the doors before bed?" I didn't even think. I grabbed my phone and texted back, "I think someone's in the house."